He's parked his car by the side of the road. A luxurious black thing, waxed so that it mirrors the stars in the sky overhead. The desert dust doesn't seem to stick to it. You find the driver, alone, retrieving something from the trunk.
What you doing, driver?
Well, what's it look like I'm doing?
Sorry, God.
He asks, as though it's obvious. He doesn't sound like the Okies driving on the road west. He has the cold tones of an educated New Englander. The pointed feet of a tripod dig into the coarse sand, hoisting his telescope heavenward.
Staring at the stars?
Not the stars, friend.
His tone is outwardly irritated, but unable to mask his glee at correcting your misapprehension.
Looking for a planet. There's a ninth one, orbiting far beyond Neptune.
Except that there's not, but that's fine.
Nothing yet, but we all know it's out there, waiting for someone to prove it exists. And once you can prove something exists, you get to name it. Can you imagine naming a thing that every generation hence for all time will remember you for?
I'm gonna name it after myself. I'm gonna call it Pluto, after my last name, Plutonium. That's right, I'm your friend, Johnny Plutonium. Alright, so a man reading the newspaper with horror learns a story about the terrible king of bulls, exacting revenge on those who imprison his people. Ooh, that's a real story. That totally happened. I remember that. Alright, San Antone, what you got? Let's go learn about the Alamo. It's humid here and absolutely sweltering. Men lounge in the shade and pluck their sweat-soaked shirts off their sticky chests. You wander down a wide, modern street as the cars go roaring by. I'll try to make some money and start up a live stream. Here we go. The factory gates swing open. Who here can use a sewing machine? Shouts the foreman. Who here knows how to make OBS work? Yells a Scoots. It can mend holes in the needle and thread, but you haven't lived in the same house as a sewing machine, and I'm gonna raise my hand. I'm gonna lie. I'm full of shit. You're ushered into a factory filled with machines you've never seen. You see the spools of leather straps, sliding frames of steel, nothing you recognize. Well, crap. They explain the machinery to your group, but the instructions are mystifying. A thick-armed woman makes a grunt of recognition. She probably actually knows how to use a sewing machine, huh? You know, you absolutely cannot fake competency here. I will admit my lie to this woman. The foreman breaks into laughter. I get at least one of you folks a day. Everyone wants work. Look, I appreciate you're coming clean. He turns to the rest of the group. Anyone else want to admit they can't sew? No one raises their hand. The foreman makes a counteroffer. Heavy lifting in the back warehouse. Pays less than working the machine, but hey, it's money. All day long, though, whenever you see the foreman walking by, a flush of embarrassment breaks out on your cheeks. Here we go. All right, I don't need to buy anything, so we're just going to leave. Thanks, San Antone. I made some money in the old tone. Okay. Well, we could dip down to the edge here, or we can continue west into New Mexico. Or I could go... What state am I in? The fuck state? Why does it say Texas? What? Oh, because that's Oklahoma. No, that isn't. What is happening? I don't know how states work. Isn't Texas bigger than this? Oh, and I think I need to explore too. That's right. Because I figured there'd be Dallas and there'd be yeah. Okay, well here, let's go back. Yeah, Texas is two different zones. Yep.
Little remains of the Alamo.
There it is.
Just a chapel and some barracks. The inside of the chapel seems off, like a space that is both ruin and restored relic, unsure if it should crumble or sparkle. The rumbling of cars outside is undeterred by the shaky adobe walls. You come across a well, a squat square made of stone, hidden beneath a large, crooked oak tree. And on it, sits a dejected man, eyes downcast, face hidden by a broad-brimmed hat, and clothes so thickly coated with dust that you can't make out their style or color.
He stabs you with a Bowie knife.
He looks up at you, and you get a better look at his face. Sun-beaten, several days unshaven, and body. Though he smells strongly of black powder, a single sharp hole punctures his torso. From there, blood oozes down, and smoke wafts up.
Are you okay?
No. It's too late for me. He bats your hand away. His is clammy and cold, even in the hot, dry air. It's a long time before he musters the strength to say anything more. I marched out here following some rich man from New Orleans.
How'd that work out for you? For what?
He makes a hollow noise like he's trying to laugh, but has forgotten how. For this. A heavily worn boot scratches a line in the dusty ground. For land. For the dirt of this place. I was promised. But instead of speaking, he just slumps forward, bent like a reed.
What's up, Texas? Everybody getting shot to death. Dead soldier at the Alamo. Good. Good, Texas. Good stuff. Okay. Let's go north, because I want to go through northern Texas into Oklahoma, right? We're zigzagging. So this is the northern part of the zigzag. And I want to follow the northern road, that one. I love San Antonio. Oh yeah, what do you love about it? Got that place that they have, the historical place. What's the name of that place? Anyway, that's the thing I love about it. Here, I'm gonna rest and if I can afford it, let's get a orange juice. Foam on top when they hand you the glass. Tastes good. Okay, here we go. Oh, this trumpet's so good. We're gonna leave the Southwest and go back into the Midwest part of Texas. Right, because that's a dividing line culturally, but not a dividing line state-wise, because Texas is huge as fuck. Yeah, I'm super excited to get to like my part of North America, get to California and Washington, Oregon. All right, Dallas, a city I've been in many times, but never actually been to. What's up, Dallas? What you got for me?
Here. Can you find her? His voice is soft, cooing. He's lowered himself down so that his head is level with the two blonde-topped boys next to him. Can you find Grandma? They're pulling ears of corn off stalks with uncommon gentleness. There she is. He points to a specific cob. It's enormous, but otherwise unexceptional. We gave her back to the corn, and now the corn has given her back to us. One of the boys, awed, reaches out with a reverent hand to touch the cob.
Blonde kids, the corn, children. Uh-oh.
This one's not for eating, the man continues. No, this one we keep. Come on, boys. We better get home before dinner time. Harvest starts tomorrow. He seems beatifically distracted as he gingerly carries the pristine ear of corn in one hand, never noticing you. His children tail after him. One of them, his blonde mop of hair mirroring the bright yellow maize, seems to glance at you, but not really understand what he sees. And there it is, subtle but perceptible. A patch of red spots on his face, fuzzy and fungal, like the omnipresent rust that you've seen on leaves here and there in every cornfield. Except this one, of course.
We gave Grandma to the corn. Damn, Dallas, damn. Okay, up to Oklahoma, I guess. And then when are we gonna... Okay, I guess we'll dip in New Mexico. Yeah, we're gonna go Oklahoma, Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota, and then North and South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, back through Oklahoma into Texas, and then we'll go New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Utah, Arizona, California, Oregon, and we will end up in Washington. That's the plan, all right? Woo. That's going to be our path. That's going to be our path through America. Yeah, we don't want to miss Wisconsin. So Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota. Yeah. And then North Dakota, South Dakota. Yeah, we'll get to Nevada, I guess probably Arizona, Nevada, California. Cuz we got to go like this wiggly cuz these aren't in columns in any real straight way. Okay. All right, cool. Let's go. Heading for Oklahoma. Yes, it's important to hit Reno and Vegas. Yeah. Whoa. Okay, so we're following the 81. Oklahoma City. I was about to say I don't know what the name of like any of the cities in Oklahoma are, but then I realized it's Oklahoma City.
Deep in the fields, you come across a group of young men clearing weeds and sod from a roadside plot. Pitchforks flying, weeds dying. You almost don't notice that the dark lump beside them is a dozing boy, lying smack dab in the middle of their work.
El Diablo.
There's an odd frenzy to the way these boys are ripping the sod apart. When they notice you approaching, they jog over and stand silently between you and their sleeping comrade. The youths share nervous looks. The oldest steps forward. Get going, he blurts, leveling a pitchfork at your gut. His hands are shaking. He seems serious.
Okay.
You hurry off, but the boys don't check to see if you've really left. From the top of the next rise, you watch them lift the motionless boy and carry him farther back into the field. It's only when they move him that you realize his wrists and ankles have been bound.
Damn. Ominous. Ooh, story upgrade. One of the stories I told made it to Oklahoma City, and You share a bus stop with this old man with his giant mustache, and he's like, all right. He stumbles quickly through a tale about thousands of jobless Floridans hurling themselves into the ocean. Hey, that's maxed out. I maxed out that story. Listen, what young man of America didn't at one point or another play the whole tie up your friend and throw them in a hole in the ground game? Bully. That's right. So we've finished upgrading that. It's a sad one, right? Yeah. Thousands of Floridians flinging themselves into the ocean. So let's switch this to the dead boy in the grain silo. Here we go. Working on stories. There's another one over here.
The girl tilts her basket away to hide whatever is inside.
You want to see what I got? I'm not telling.
She raises her eyebrows, encouraging you to pry further. This girl is either very confident or too young to know shyness.
I don't want to see what you got in your basket.
Oh, you're not being fun. It's really worth seeing.
She twists her lips to one side, mimicking a more adult, thoughtful gesture.
Tell you what, I'll show you what's in the basket if you do something for me.
All right, what?
Excellent. I want you to kill my mother.
She looks to check if you're paying attention, then points to a figure working at the other end of the field.
She's boring. She keeps making me work when I want to play.
The girl bursts into peals of laughter. She doubles over the basket, laughing so hard she's barely able to stand. When she can speak again, she says,
You should have seen your face. You really should.
She beckons you over, shows you her basket.
It's Mom's head.
3 kittens
Aw,
snuggle up
kittens.
at the bottom. They're barely old enough to open their eyes.
Ma gave them to me for being good. I've called them Badb, Matcha, and Anand.
That's the Morrigan.
After a story Nana told me.
She preens.
I'm very clever, you know.
Yeah, that's the Bab Matcha and Anand are the Morrigan. I think there's another name for them. Let me look it up. The Morrigan are like an Irish mythology. The Morrigan, Phantom Queen. Associated with war and fate, foretelling doom and death in battle. In this role, she appears as a crow, the Bad. She's associated with sovereignty. I know all this stuff. Like, I'm reading the Wikipedia, but I know about the Morrigan from Wicked and the Divine. Yeah. Bad, Matcha, and Anand. That's so cool. A lot of Irish in Oklahoma. Yeah, Wicked and the Divine. That's how I know about it. Yeah, turns out America's ominous as fuck. All right. Oklahoma. Let's go back to Missouri. We're taking the 66. Yeah, the game is like American Gods. Yeah, if you like, yes, very, very true, Alaren. That's true. There's Irish folk everywhere. Yeah, I think I'm a full graphic novel behind right now on Wictive, but it's fucking great. If you like American Gods, Wicked and the Divine, super good comic series. Traffic seems like it's always going in the wrong direction. Am I heading back into the south? No, we're just on the corner of where the Midwest and the South meet. We're gonna take a. Actually, let's take a left right here at the state border. Let's go up there. Kansas City.
Over a shared, crusty loaf of bread, the farmer notices you looking at a prominent, tattered scarecrow in the field. "Oh, you like old Barney?" he asks.
A nope. A yep.
Does a damn good job scaring the vermin. Shame about the real fella. He was a funny one. Old Barney hiding out in our stables and lofts, just passing along. We liked him. Well, all except the sheriff. Barney never harmed nothing. I sometimes shared bread with him, just like you here.
What happened to Barney?
When he disappeared, leaving just the clothes we gave him, I figured I'd put him to use. Never got to know his proper name neither.
Across the field, the wind in the corn whispers. Or is it the scarecrow?
Barney the Scarecrow.
There's a commotion outside the post office. The crowd parts, and a middle-aged man comes leaping out onto the curb.
My daughter had a baby,
he shouts. She had a baby girl. In a fit of frantic excitement, he kicks over the post office box, knocks over a bench, and seizes you at random in a bear hug.
Somebody call my wife,
he shouts over your shoulder.
Tell her we're taking the train to Chicago.
The man starts to dance. His feet hit the pavement so hard they throw up puffs of shattered stone.
What?
Everyone staggers. When he swings around the lamppost, the metal bends like soft clay.
Keep celebrating. Let's burn this mother down.
The new grandfather grabs the nearest car and, 2 hands overhead, lifts it up and hurls it down the road.
My daughter had a baby,
he shouts. Everyone runs indoors.
Whoa!
The new grandfather seizes your hands and whirls you around so fast that you feel the blood leave your tingling face.
I've never been happier in my life,
he shouts. But his grip slips. Before you can react, you're tumbling across the roof of the hardware store across the road.
Laren, you won't like me when I'm happy. Ouch!
The man doesn't seem to have noticed he's lost you. He's spinning so fast you can barely see him. As you climb down into the alley and run for the edge of town, you hear him, thanking God for his answered prayers over the sound of cracking bricks.
Fuck. Wow, cool. That guy just wrecked up the joint with his happiness. All right, so the plan was Missouri and then up to the Beat Poet. Okay. All right, tell me this story you know for sure is true, Andrew Ryan. Ghosts who murdered the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra. Okay. Good, so it's improved on that story. Great. Mischievous Ghosts got better. Nuclear Grandpa. Alright, and then kind of hook back when we get to the river. We'll take a left along that riverbank there. What's interesting is that I think Superman is actually definitely like an American story, right? Like, because when did Superman get invented? Like the 30s? You want to see where I've been in the game? I've been everywhere, man. So we started our game up here in Maine, and then we went down through Rhode Island to New York, New Jersey, down through Virginia, Carolina, the other Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, Arkansas, Mississippi again, through Louisiana, into Texas, up through this part of Texas, up through Oklahoma, Kansas, and now that's where we are, in Missouri. Pretty cool, right? I know, I really want to go to California and to the Pacific Northwest, but we're taking our damn time with it. So much America to see. I should have stopped in St. Louis and rested. But there's a camp up here. That's where we're headed, so. That's actually the name of my character. I've been everywhere, man. Yeah, it's true. I actually really enjoyed the New England part. It was good. I'm enjoying all of it. There's all kinds of cool stories. There's a book about a comics creator. Oh, what is it called? It won a bunch of awards. Book about comics, Superman, fiction. What was it called? It wasn't like about a specific comic. It was... God, it's gonna be bugging me now. I can envision the cover, but not the title. Cavalier and Clay. That might be it. Yeah, Book J. Of course, Book J knows it. Living up to your name, Jay. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. Ooh, Cedar Rapids. Cedar Rapids, as a name for a place, is very evocative. Like, I can just feel like I can get even if the place is nothing like what I expect, like, it makes me think of a certain kind of, like, I don't know. I like it. I love it as the name of a place.
This boy is capable of some intimidating eye contact. He holds your gaze long enough to make you squirm, and then mercifully breaks the silence. Do you like riddles? He has a dull voice.
Is he fucking Zeke's character from Blades? Do you like riddles?
Lovely and round, he says. Oh, he's jumping straight into it, huh? I shine with pale light. I am grown in the darkness. I'm a lady's delight.
You're a pearl.
What am I?
You're a pearl. Pearl.
No, not a fish, idiot. So much for your prize. He softly pats the pocket of his overalls, oozing smugness. Apologies, Bartleby, he says, as some shape writhes inside the denim pocket. You have not bought your freedom today.
The boy with riddles in the pet. I bet she's like got an oyster in there. Okay, so let's upgrade this story, and then we'll go talk to the poet again. All right. Here it is, the Hessian of Sleepy Hollow. The story of the rider in the woods. Isn't that something? Cool, we upgraded our headless Hessian story. All right. Let's take a rest by the old campfire. Cassidy, Chapter 2, Moaning Low.
Where are you headed now? I'm thinking about getting out to the coast again. I want to get to Frisco and gaze upon the Pacific Ocean like in days past.
That's where I'm headed, dude.
Contemplation of water is an ancient healing practice, you know? The vastness of the sea makes the personal wounds we suffer seem small in comparison. That's the theory, anyway. Silas told me that once. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. Do you know any stories like that?
I do. I know many sad stories. A strange street lost in time in Washington, D.C. A dead boy in a grain silo in Columbus. I haven't told that one yet.
That one was like getting locked out in the cold with nothing but your sorrow. I liked it. You have a lot to be sad about? Come and join me. Be a writer. Or, even better, be a poet. It takes a special kind of fool to become a poet. Writing poetry won't make your sadness go away, nor will your problems be solved. But at least you'll be able to look back and know how you felt, because there's a record of it. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. Do you know any stories like that?
I would see, like, for me, traveling America wouldn't be about writing poems or stories. It would be about taking pictures. That thing he said about, like, looking back and knowing how you felt, like, that's, for me, that's photography for sure. Yeah. All right. You want another sad one, huh? I got lots of sad ones. How about... Let's see here. That's a good one. Let's see. Ooh, the old janitor in the abandoned school. Let's try that one.
The tragedy in that story, it's real. Looking back at the past, well, it's just like reading a long list of times I was a fool. Here's an example. Pauline used to write too. Silas and I agreed she wasn't particularly talented. She tried too hard to sound like the writers we adored back then. The attempts were so stodgy sounding I called them the Pauline epistles, which made Silas laugh and laugh. Back then I thought I was so high up, so secure, but in the end he still chose her over me. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own.
Heartbroken
You know
guy.
any-
All right. More sad, huh? One that's like all somber that I haven't told him yet. Let's tell the story about the grave robber. Maybe that one will be good.
The tragedy
There we
in that
go.
story, it's real. Choices used to bother Silas. He used to worry a lot about doing the right thing. He had a strong sense of morality. I was different from him in that way. The right thing isn't the thing I naturally want to do.
Good character flagging in the dialogue there. That is... Those two sentences say so much. Whew.
Frequently, I don't do it, and I have to deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
But I don't see why I shouldn't keep pursuing that. I'm built around a bundle of desires, just like anyone else. There were times when I thought Silas could see things this way too. Alone, out here, I spend too much time inside my own head. Can you tell me a hopeful story to lighten my mood?
Yeah, let me tell you about the Lighthouse Sanctuary.
That's a good one. We do reach up like that, towards hope. Is love a spiritual failing?
Thanks, Inky.
Silas was interested in Zen, and sometimes he would talk about cutting off desires, breaking away from attachments to forms. The irony isn't lost on me that I've failed so completely at this, especially as it regards him. Is he so spiritually accomplished that he can do that about me? Does he just sit there in his perfect meditation, feeling no desire, needing no one? If so, then why is he with someone right now? I need an optimistic story
Yeah, you do.
right now. Something to put a smile on my face. Can you think of any like that?
Hey, Bard Stealer. Let's find an optimistic story. Oh, the communist one was a optimistic story, and he hasn't heard that one yet. Maldion, welcome back.
I like that one. Makes me feel the way Silas used to in the old days.
Oh, you heartbroken poet dork.
A free
Poor
mind
baby,
ponders
I love
all
you.
subjects without fear. A free soul expresses its spirit without restraint. Silas had that kind of freedom once, or I thought he did. Something changed in him, though, and he began to shrink away from that. He became introspective and morose. What happened? In darker moments, I wonder if Pauline turned him against me.
Pauline.
No, that's just my imagination. I suppose after a while I'll start to realize how little I can change and accept myself as an uprooted poet howling unheard into the winds, seething with anger and pain. Exiled to a little island of suffering surrounded by storm clouds. Really just a sad little bum that nobody cared about. That sounds about right. I've gone on long enough. Next, I'm traveling out this way. Keep an eye out for me if you
I was
find
just
yourself
down
over
there,
there.
dude. Oh gosh, I feel like I gotta finish off my story with him though, cause let's do that, and then we'll go Illinois, Wisconsin. We'll come back up to Chicago, cause I really want to finish off with this guy. So let's see, cause he's heard lots and lots of my stories now. All right, we got Walking Willis. I'm just trying to swap out the ones where we've seen his. It annoys me that I can't go back here. Franklin's Travels. Let's set this to Gunshot Gutshot Man. I'm just looking for the stories I know I've told him. Blessed Lighthouse. Oh, I can tell him his own story. I haven't told him any of these, but let's see if there are any good sad ones. No. Maybe that one. I haven't really got a handle on Dupree's story yet. The Abandoned Farmhouse, that's the cow one. Last Bottle of Armagnac, that'll be a good one. He'll like that one. Okay. Yeah, this actual trip would take forever. All this like wandering around America. All right, on the country miles.
Looks like I'm still me and you're still you. A pity, isn't it? To be stuck with ourselves like this. All this wandering and I couldn't escape the one thing I wanted to be away from more than anything else. I suppose that in the end, We all have to settle down inside ourselves.
Wherever you go, there you are.
But I don't want to be the way I am now. If I could, I'd live inside the past. Inside the time Silas and I had together. Back on the road together. Forever. Do you know any stories that will make me laugh? A tall order, I know.
Yeah, I do. I have a funny one. Where is it? Let's see. I feel like I got another funny one. Oh, maybe I didn't load it up. Because I didn't expect him to, like... I know the story about a guy who got shot and left to die in the streets of St. Louis. It's right over there. How about a man who only eats molasses?
Hey, you don't need to try and cheer me up like that.
But you asked for a funny story. You just... Oh.
Joy was the life I had with Silas on the road. I don't know what exactly made me want the simple life of a bum, but the pursuit of that felt natural to me after the problems I had had earlier in my life. Hopping on cold train cars that froze overnight, scooping out beans from a tin with our hands. All of that was pure joy. Most people go through life doing a lot of work to avoid the truth. Silas and I wanted to find the truth, to witness it with our own eyes. I need an optimistic story right now.
Optimism, huh? Alright. Positive dust storms guy. That's positive. It says positive in the word.
I'm afraid I don't get the joke.
What? That's a funny
Choice.
one now. Oh,
Of course,
I'm wrecking
Silas
it on
and I
this guy.
chose to live the way we did. We both knew it wasn't without its dangers, what we were doing. We got in some scrapes and talked our way out of others. Something about the righteousness of our mission must have shone through. Silas in particular, his eyes had a certain shine that spoke to his purpose, an effect that was only enhanced by the hobo rags he wore during the trip. More than once, folks intent on giving us trouble saw him apostle-like and let us be. Alone, out here. I spend too much time inside my own head.
So he's
Can
at
you
the
tell me
end
a
of
hopeful
his
story to lighten my
tale,
mood?
and now he wants all these like light-hearted stories. You screwed me, buddy. I thought you were like me. I thought you were sad. Damn you. Well, here, Jimmy. Let me tell you Jimmy's parable. Maybe Jimmy will hope you up.
I like that one.
There we go.
Makes me feel the way Silas used to. Faith often comes as a variety of hope. Hope for yourself. There's some kind of magic that happens when you're with someone who makes you feel like the person you want to be. In my old life, I never had the chance to talk about life, the point of things, what I'm supposed to be doing here. If I ever ventured it, people called me a freak or worse. Now in comes this man Silas, who is built of these thoughts. You can see how I believed he was sent from the heavens just for me. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that
now
resonates.
you want a sad story. All right. Last bottle of Armagnac. Let's try this one.
I don't think I'm in the intended audience for that joke.
So that's a joke. Okay.
Silas could see I was trapped. I was a shy kid. Silas helped me realize there was something more than just being frightened of things, of people. Traveling with him unlocked a new world. I'd never felt so free before. The way I was slipping in and out of different situations, others' lives. In the normal, day-to-day, you think you're doing fine, but you're really imprisoned. To break free from that is a holy thing, a beatific thing. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. Do you know any?
Yeah, I can find you a sad story about a dead lady.
The tragedy in that story,
There you go.
it's real. Have you ever tried writing poetry? That was some trip. I was certainly sad when it was over. It's an odd thing to have such a memorable and storied time, and then, in retrospect, you wonder if it really happened. All of that, just gone. You could have dreamt it all. You don't have to let that bring you down, though. It's enough for something to exist in the past, and for that to have been good. It's melancholy as hell, sure. But what isn't in this life? The sun will be rising soon. I've got to pack my camp and get ready to go. Up at dawn every day, thinking about how to get to the next town, how to eat, where to rest. It's like the trip I took with Silas, but I'm on my own this time. If your trip takes you out this way, we might meet again.
Oh my god, he's right up there in Iowa where I was headed. He's heard like most of my stories now though, so I need a break from this guy.